Hey everyone, this is in response to Potsy Mommy's latest video where she had need to go to the ER for fluids and got completely mistreated. And yeah, like, I'm so furious right now just thinking about this because I've been there, and I'm sure like a lot of people have been there. Like, if you have a less common chronic illness, one that isn't well understood, and you're dealing with not necessarily up to par clinicians, it's a scary thing. And I'm just disgusted and horrified right now. Like, in response, I don't even know where to begin. Like, there's so much I want to say. And just, first of all, yeah, the double standard of care is so wrong. So if you have insurance, they'll do every test under the sun because it makes them money. Medicine is such a business, and it's really, really disgusting. I don't have words. And then, like, if you don't have insurance, you get undertreated. They don't even investigate things they should based on symptomology. It's so ridiculous. And then you deal with these people who are so clueless about your illness and give you BS patronizing advice like, you should drink more? Telling somebody with hypovolemia that they should just drink more and that has issues with absorption is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I'm not surprised, like, sadly, I'm not surprised that there's this much ignorance. But it still horrifies and appalls and angers me to no end. Like, it's just beyond grievous that this is going on. Or in the case of people with anorexia, oh, you should just eat more. It's just not that simple, you know. And I really have, you know, there's certain areas of medicine where there's so much stigma and bias and misunderstanding and mis/under-treatment of patients. And really, it's 2011 and still we have such an overwhelmingly apparent degree of inadequacy in medical care in this country. And like Potsy Mommy was saying, I wish I could move to another country. Unfortunately, the scary thing is that things aren't so great over there too. I network with a lot of people in all different countries. Like, we tend to look to the UK and Australia as, and sometimes even Canada, as superior medically, but that's not the case. One of my best friends in Canada has a little boy, and he was getting chronic recurrent ear infections and needed ear surgery. And it took her months just to get him in there. And this kid was in agony and not sleeping, and just, it's horrifying. And then in the UK, like, similar issues, just long waiting times, not necessarily qualified clinicians. So the grass isn't greener. We're all over the world. There's problems, you know. But we really need to get with it here. And I really think that there needs to be a great deal more education of clinicians entering the workforce now. There have been some advances in certain fields, but not enough in others. And unfortunately, those of us with rare diseases are not the priority because we're not a big consumer base. And unfortunately, healthcare has become a business. So, like, okay, my condition isn't that common. So, you know, like, the underlying factor that started all of my illness is extremely rare. Like, I think I've learned of like 2 or 3 cases ever that have had a reaction like I have to the virus that I caught and everything. And if you have a rare thing going on, and God forbid something that is stigmatized or blown off as attention seeking or not legit, This goes all the way back to like Victorian times where women were just written off as being hysterical, right? But it's still going on. We went through this with fibromyalgia too. But do you know why fibromyalgia now is credible and reputable? Largely, my belief is because of drugs like Lyrica, and now there's a market, right? Until there is a marketable treatment, like this is just my kind of unofficial theory, the reason that rare diseases go so misunderstood, I guess, or under, is because it's not profitable. I mean, that's the problem when you turn medical care into a business. This is what happens. Sure, now the American College of Rheumatology accepts fibromyalgia as a real illness. It did for a very long time, but it wasn't socially recognized until we start seeing commercials for Lyrica. Do you have fibromyalgia? I mean, I'm just speaking from experience. We've worked with the chronic pain community for the past 10 years or so. It's really sad. And so, unless they come out with a osmolarity restabilizing miracle drug for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or some kind of cure for malabsorption, or any other rare disease that's going on that there's nothing to be done about it, I don't see things changing. So really, I've been spending, since I left school, volunteering as a patient advocate, and my conclusion is this: we all need to come together and pool resources and work to laud the clinicians that are laudable, and maybe we can set up a systematic way of reviewing stuff. There's plenty of sites that do that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But if you have a rare disease, it's not market savvy enough to warrant enough attention, and really, like, we get hurt because of that. There's not funding for education, there's not funding for research, and there certainly isn't funding for any kind of treatment. And so you have to seek out like the few rare physicians who actually care enough to do right by you, and it's hard. And then complicate that with not having insurance. Oh my goodness. I'm on disability, thank God, and I have the medical care I need now, thank God. But it took years to get it. I mean, I was rejected when I first applied, and technically my condition is terminal, right? Classified as terminal. I outlived my diagnosis, and so I don't claim, or my prognosis, so I don't claim that anymore. Like, but seriously, like, I can't believe I got rejected. And that's another rant entirely about the whole, like, things you guys need to know. The people who approve SSI applications are not clinicians. The people who do insurance claims, health insurance, are not clinicians. And I'm sorry, if you go to an ER where you have to explain how to spell tachycardia, there are no words for how absolutely ridiculous and disgusting and appalling and wrong this is. Oh my God, I'm just so upset. And we need to be a voice, you guys. Like, keep making videos and speaking out and sharing your stories and detailing your experiences. Like, this is our resource. The internet is our resource. We can be heard. We can explain what's going on. We can advocate and rally together to support each other, empower each other, network, share resources. Where are good places to go or good clinicians to see? I think we can do a lot at the grassroots level to help each other. And that's why I'm making this video also in solidarity with Potsy Mommy and what she went through trying to get her fluids, and just in general, like, the underserved medical population. It's really screwed up, and I hope that more people will join this fight and raise awareness and unify, and let's try and, Let's pool our resources here as far as knowledge and work together to try to kind of identify. Like, I would love to see a regional database of, like, if you have this illness, like this rare illness, this is a good place to go in your city, town, state, whatever. You know, a lot of sites now, um, a lot of medical resources have patient reviews sections, like if you've been on a certain medicine or you've seen a certain physician, and that's awesome. I highly recommend take advantage of that. Before you go see any physician, do your research, see what patients have to say, check online, and if it's a case of negligence, it's such a dilemma whether to report it or not, because you don't want to be blacklisted. But in cases of like extreme ridiculous negligence, I do think this stuff should be reported. You can contact your local medical board and report if you get mistreated. It is a difficult situation because, like I said, blacklisting is a real issue. I've known several patients who that's happened to. So you have to be careful about how you go about being proactive, but we need to raise awareness. We really do. And not give up and not stop speaking out. So this video is insanely long already. Much love to everyone. Be well, and talk to you guys soon. Much love. Bye, guys.